Hey guys, welcome back to another quick episode of the Vargas Blueprint. And I actually wanted to go over how I track and log my workouts because I think that's an area that is overcomplicated. And in terms, it really should be pretty easy. And I think everyone should do it because it's an easy way to track progressive overload. And if you guys saw my last video where I went over progressive overload, if you haven't seen that, go check it out. But in simple terms, progressive overload is just adding a weight or a rep to your movement each week so you can progress in the gym and get stronger. But this is how I track my workouts. It's nothing fancy. It's not science-based or anything like that. It's just what works for me. I like a good old-fashioned pen and paper. Kind of adds an old school touch to it and helps you kind of disconnect with the gym a little bit, even though I'm filming my workouts. I like disconnecting, where I can, because I've noticed when I track my workouts on my phone, I see a notification pop up, or I just click on Instagram and then I'm doom scrolling for a couple minutes when I really should be getting in my next set. So yeah, it's pretty simple way to track your workouts and progress. And then I can show you guys a little bit more in depth on how I track them. So here's a full raw look at how I track my workouts. Again, I just like using a notebook, but yeah, as you can see, if we go to this chest and triceps day, you just really keep track. So I did 2 sets with the 60 by 9s. And then so when I try to track progressive overload, that means the next time I go in here, I'll do 60 by 10. And then the next week, 60 by 11. And then I'll write it down on another page. So yeah, hope you guys like seeing that little raw footage of how I track my workouts. Again, everyone tracks them differently. I've used the Notes app before. That's pretty easy to do. I've seen people use Excel or Google Sheets. Try them all out and see what you like doing. But yeah, like I said, I think everyone should track their workouts and progress just so you can see that you are making gains and, progressing in the gym. Because if you don't really keep track of your workouts, say you had a long work week or something of that nature, and you don't remember what you bench pressed last week, and then you kind of just throw some random numbers, some random weights on the bar. That's kind of hard to progress when you don't really know what you did last week or whatever it was when you hit that workout last. So you really have no way of tracking progress. So yeah, if you guys have any questions, leave them in the comments, and I'll take you guys to the gym today and going to hit a quick little shoulders and arm workout for you. Getting into this shoulders and arms workout, I started off the workout by doing some cable bicep curls, and I like doing this movement because it really puts your biceps at a stretched position. And then later you will see that I do some hammer curls for the brachialis. But after those cable curls, I stayed on the same cable stack and moved over to some tricep push downs, and this really focuses on the lateral head. And so for triceps, as you'll see later in this workout, I like doing overhead presses as well. So yeah, for arm workouts, I sometimes go back and forth between supersetting a bicep and a tricep, but for this, I just did 2 straight sets of each movement before I transitioned over to the next movement. So here you'll see I moved over to some hammer curls. And as I said, this works on that brachialis, which is that center part of your bicep, to make it look full if someone is looking at you straight on. This also really targets your forearms as well. And yeah, as you can see, I took this to pretty close to failure. And then here's a cheeky little shot of the biceps working, and as you can see, there's that brachialis, kind of that meaty part of the bicep where those cable curls worked on that peak of the bicep. And then I finished off the arm portion. As I said, I like doing a push down, but then also an overhead extension, because that really works on the long head, which is the meaty part of your tricep. So yeah, the arms, I like doing 2 to 3 workouts for your bicep or tricep, and then I did 2 sets to failure for this workout. And then I transitioned over just to one shoulder exercise because I hit shoulders earlier in the week. So I like doing these seated dumbbell lateral raises to target that side delt, because I don't really do too many front delt exercises because I feel like I get enough stimulation when I do pressing movements. And then I usually hit rear delts on my back day. So yeah, just one shoulder exercise today. And then here is just a mere shot of me posing to show off the arm pump. So yeah, if you guys have any questions about this workout or tracking or logging your workouts, just leave them in the comments.